You ever had that thought, man, I wish I could just disappear? Not die, relax, nothing dramatic. Just hit some invisible life pause button and vanish for a while. No explanations, no paperwork, no consequences. Like going to sleep tonight and waking up only when the awkward season of your life has already finished. The funny thing, that season never really ends. Life is just a long playlist that keeps shuffling problems you didn't even add. And here's the wild part. Almost everyone has felt this. Not just the people going through heavy emotional storms. I'm talking about the smiling beach photo people. The happy couple on your feed. The coworker who somehow wins Employee of the Month for doing I don't know what. Even they've had that secret thought. It would be nice if I could just not exist for a little bit. Nobody actually wants to die. That's too final, too messy, too much commitment. What people want is more like the side character in a TV show who stops showing up and no one ever explains why. Just poof, gone. No dramatic soundtrack. And honestly, that desire is a luxury of our era. Back in the day, humans were busy trying not to get eaten by something fiery and fast, or working until their bones cracked just to eat. Our monsters are more like the boss who think he's a Greek god, bills that multiply like rabbits, influencers who are way too happy at 7 a.m., and that constant pressure of feeling behind in a game where nobody told you the rules. So your brain whispers, what if I just wasn't here for a bit, not giving up, just trying to take a vacation from being yourself. And we already practice disappearing in tiny doses, binge watching until sunrise, drinking enough to forget your middle name, scrolling endlessly like the screen is some kind of anesthetic, little microscapes, little samples of not existing. They numb you, but they don't solve anything. If you've ever wanted to vanish without a trace, congratulations, you are human. That wish is just your mind admitting something honest, that normal life can be weirdly exhausting, sometimes more exhausting than fighting actual monsters. The forbidden fantasy. You know what's funny? This whole wanting to disappear thing, it's basically the brain's version of hidden adult content. Everybody speaks at it in their mind, but nobody dares to say it out loud. The idea of total nothingness becomes this forbidden little fantasy. Not dying. That's messy, dramatic, and way too permanent. What people want is the premium package, vanishing with no bills, no goodbyes, and zero chance of becoming a headline. But here's the twist. True nothingness doesn't exist, and because it's impossible, the mind wants it even more. It's like being told that you can't eat cookies. Suddenly, cookies become your entire personality. The nothing people crave isn't logical. It's emotional, almost childish. It's wishing you could wipe the entire chalkboard of life clean without solving the equations written on it. It's your mind saying, if I can't win this game, at least let me walk out without paying the exit fee. And how do we try to recreate this nothing in real life? Easy. Alcohol, drugs, hookup culture, working like a lunatic, scrolling on your phone until your thumb begs for a day off. All versions of, well, nothing. Little 5-minute vacations from being a person. For a moment, you don't think, you don't feel, you don't exist. Then you snap back, usually worse, because nothingness always charges interest. But think about it. If nothing were real, it would probably be boring as hell. No snacks, no drama, no chance to text someone you shouldn't at 1 a.m. Nothing sounds cool as an idea, but living in it, probably unbearable. What we actually want is the illusion, like watching a sad movie to cry in a controlled, safe place, knowing the credits will hand you back to reality. Still, fantasizing about nothingness is a weird kind of rebellion. It's like telling life, you can bury me under rules, pressure, expectations, and adult responsibilities. But in my mind, I still get to dream about an empty, quiet universe that belongs only to me. This private fantasy becomes the brain's secret tab, the little corner you visit when nobody's watching. And honestly, maybe this desire for nothing just shows how seriously we take life. People who dream of disappearing don't hate life itself. They hate the suffocating way they were forced to play it. In that sense, nothing is the closest metaphor to freedom we've ever created. Shameflix. Let me introduce you to Shameflix, the streaming service nobody subscribes to, but somehow everyone stars in. It's that moment when you screw up so badly you consider relocating permanently to under your own bed. Shame is the director, the writer, the executive producer, and we are all acting for free. And here's the thing, shame is the strongest trigger behind that "I wish I could disappear" feeling. It's not physical pain, not deep sadness. It's that toxic sensation of being watched, not even by real people most of the time, but by this imaginary audience we have invented. Society, parents, your crush, the ghost of every expectation you've ever had. It's like living in a reality show with no prize money, just weekly eliminations of your self-esteem. Now here comes the irony. Shame only exists because we want it to be wanted. You don't want to disappear because you think you are evil. You want to disappear because you think you are not enough. We are not scared of mistakes. We are scared of the judgment we think follows them. It's like when you text something vulnerable. "Hey, was thinking about you earlier." They see it. They come online. They start typing and then vanish. In that moment, you don't want to die. You want to undo your entire existence. Fast food nothingness. "Hey universe, delete me gently, thanks." And it doesn't stop there. Say something dumb in a conversation, stumble during a presentation, forget the name of someone very important. But think about this. If everyone feels it, why does it still feel so unbearable? Because shame has one cruel superpower. It convinces you that you are the only one who feels it. You think you are the single biggest idiot in the building. Spoiler, everyone's drowning in the same boat. They just don't post it on Instagram. Shame isn't even about what people actually think. It's about what you imagine they think. This fictional audience in your head is sitting there with popcorn, reviewing every micro mistake of your life like a critic from a fancy newspaper. And the worst part, you can never please this audience. There will always be something wrong. Your body, your voice, your choices, your desires. So the brain suggests a radical fix. Let's just quit this stage. But here's the trap. Shame doesn't disappear with you. You are the one projecting the jury. If you vanished today, guess who would still be replaying every scene? You, on loop. Shame doesn't need a real audience, just you believing there is one. Simulations of eternity. Have you ever noticed how time can be a complete jerk sometimes? Some days it flies like it's late for an appointment. Other days it parks itself right in front of you, puts the hazard lights on, and traps you in some kind of existential traffic jam. That's when we taste nothingness without actually dying. When every minute drags like it's being punished. Think about boredom. Not the fancy kind people post on Instagram, like, "I'm bored in my villa in Bali, reconnecting with my soul." No, I mean the raw, greedy boredom of staring at the ceiling, wondering if your life would make a decent episode of any show. Spoiler, it wouldn't. Boredom is the cheapest simulation of eternity. It's like a free trial of not existing. You don't want anything. You don't feel anything. You're just there. And just being can be unbearable. Then there's nostalgia, the brain's sneaky little time machine. You keep replaying moments that have already expired, pretending you could somehow move back into them. It's like rewatching a movie you've memorized because the present feels mid. Nostalgia is just boredom wearing a fancy outfit. Looks poetic, but deep down it's another way of escaping now. And then comes the boss level, depression. the hardcore version of this eternity simulation. Every day feels like a rerun. Every choice feels irrelevant. It's like being stuck in a waiting room where no one ever calls your name. In that loop, wanting to disappear almost feels rational. If nothing changes, why keep watching the same episode? But you don't need to fall that deep to experience these mini nothings. Even everyday escapes are rehearsals for non-existence. Scrolling for 6 hours, drinking until you are on airplane mode, zoning out with random videos. You are not living, you are numbing yourself, testing what not existing might feel like, but with a return button. And here's the cruel twist. During boredom, nostalgia, or depression, you think you've stepped outside life, but you haven't. You are still you, same mind, same body, just frozen. The worst of both worlds, not living but also not gone. The uncomfortable truth, the simulation of nothingness is more torture than rest, because unlike actual nothingness, whatever that is, here you are still conscious, and consciousness is the portable hell we drag with us everywhere. So when you feel like disappearing, maybe it's not a death wish. Maybe it's just your brain begging, I can't do another replay. Give me a new scene, please. Disappear for good. You think the urge to disappear is just trendy philosophy over coffee? You probably haven't seen Evangelion. That show is basically the manual for the press the off switch fantasy. Shinji, he's not a blockbuster hero. The kid doesn't want to save the world. He wants to evaporate. Evangelion states that wish bluntly. Giant robots, parental trauma, impossible expectations, and scene where the main character practically melts into the void. Sometimes the series goes full metaphysical and literally imagines dissolving everyone into one big emotional soup. Sounds wild, and also kind of tempting when you are fed up with responsibilities and awkward DMs. But the genius of the show is that it refused to romanticize the escape. Turning everyone into mush isn't liberation, it's surrender. Imagine all your problems wiped out, sure, but also every chance to mess up, learn, or say sorry. That's the trade-off. Zero pain, zero possibility. Philosophically, it's a mashup of old heavy hitters. Schopenhauer's brutal line that life equals suffering because wanting equals suffering, and Lacan's idea that desire always springs from a hole that never closes. Evangelion smashes those thoughts onto the screen. You want the other person to fill you up. They don't. You feel shame. You want to vanish. Rinse, repeat. The instrumentality project, the anime's endgame, is only the fantasy version of what if we erased all the difference so nothing could hurt? It's the ultimate group therapy gone wrong. No more rejection, no more awkward texts left unread, but also no more you. And that's the real kicker. Being nobody can be just as devastating as being rejected. So when Shinji faces the choice, stay and live with pain, or dissolve into silence forever, the show forces you to weigh what matters. He comes back, not because life is sunshine and rainbows, but because being alive, with all its lousy reruns, still contains the possibility of a new scene. You can fall, embarrass yourself, and get another take. Nothingness gives no replace. It's the cold question the show leaves in your head. What's worse? Suffering as someone, or being nobody and feeling nothing at all? Shinji's answer is messy and human, but the question is yours too, if you've ever wanted to hit the big off button, creating from the void. There comes a point where philosophy, anime, and your own self-pity all hit the same brick wall. You can't return your existence like a bad purchase. You are here, no refund, no customer service line to complain to. Imagine calling, hey, yeah, I would like to cancel my lifetime subscription to breeding, responsibilities, and awkward social interactions. Life just shrugs and goes. Too bad. Figure it out. But here's the plot twist. That urge to disappear, you can actually use it as a raw material. When you stare straight into the nothingness, you realize life is basically a blank canvas you forgot you had. The void isn't just absence, it's also possibility. The problem is that most of us freeze at step 1, drooling over the idea of shutting everything off instead of noticing that emptiness is also the starting point of anything. Think about it. You are already tired, already embarrassed, already stuck. If the alternative is not existing, then every choice becomes a win by default. That desire to vanish might be the most brutally honest notification your brain sends. Buddy, something in your life is fake. You are living a script someone else wrote. You hate your job but stay because it feels safe. Every Monday you get that mini panic attack of, I wish I could disappear. But what if, instead of treating that as cowardice, you saw it as an alarm going off in your soul? Like, dude, if you want to vanish so badly, maybe vanish from here and try something else. Same with relationships, projects, even hobbies. The wish to not exist might just be your system saying, this version of you is outdated, please update. But here's the hardest part. You have to stop waiting for the imaginary audience in your head to clap for you. They won't. So screw it. The only way out of the circle, shame, boredom, fantasies of disappearing is to embrace friction, risk, rejection, the possibility of falling flat on your face. Yeah, you are going to mess up. You are going to get judged. You are going to have moments that make you want to hide under a table. But existing badly is still better than not existing at all. Creating from the void is exactly that. Looking at the abyss and deciding to doodle on it. It's treating I don't want to exist as a reminder that everything is temporary, and even shame can be inspiration. It's stepping out of the role of background extra begging to be erased and become the writer of your own weird, messy, imperfect story. In the end, there are only 2 options. You can spend your whole life trying to return the ticket you were given, hoping for an impossible refund, or you can take that same ticket and write the strangest, most honest, most unpolished play you are capable of. Maybe the audience won't applaud, but at least you weren't a passive spectator waiting to fade out of your own story.